Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So, before we dive into today's episode, which is, just reviewing season 8 of The Real Housewives of Potomac, particularly the last episode, Heaven is a Place in Potomac. So, before we dive in, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So, with that, let's go. So, I think right now the season is starting to heat up and more of the dynamics are being solidified. Definitely episode 1 I think was sort of cleaning up the stuff from last season, trying to hold Robin accountable. Episode 2 was definitely setting up the storylines, and I think this episode 3 is really setting up the dynamics of what the season's going to be. But I have questions. Will it be Wendy versus Ashley? Nneka versus Ashley? Wendy versus Nneka? Is it going to turn into Robin versus Giselle? And at the end, we know that the at the party for the season finale, there's a big fight. Now, is it this new Karen person that's been introduced? Is she the one who gets in the fight with Cookie Monster Deborah? I think that's what happens. I think it's Ashley's friend, Cookie Monster Deborah, gets in a fight with Wendy's friend, Kieran, who I believe we got introduced to this episode. I think that's it. If I'm wrong, put it in the comments, okay? And then will Candace be iced out? Is this going to be her last season if no one will film with her? What's going on there? Where is Michael? Where's Chris? Where in the world is Waldo? So with that, let's go. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So let's first talk about Karen. So Karen, to me, she is the grande dame for a reason. She's very mature and she's trying to squash all the issues with Robin, but of course, in her queen way, she still found a way to shade the hell out of Robin and asked all of the right questions. Did you notice that she said to her, "Do you have an open marriage with Juan?" She was like, "So you have a traditional marriage, it's not open?" And Robin was like, "Yeah, it's not open, it's traditional, we're not open." Robin, why you what? This is the thing. I don't think Robin's lying because I don't think Robin and Juan have sex anymore. So it's not even about being traditional or open. I don't think they have sex. I think Robin gets it where she gets it. I think Juan gets it where he gets it. So it's not like we have an open marriage where we still have sex and we're open to having sex with other people. I think they are just I think it's familial. I think they're like brother and sister at this point. They're just two people who grew up together and happen to have some kids together. And they want to have this front for the kids and for the cameras and for the show. But I don't think that behind closed doors, they're smashing. They don't have any type of sexual chemistry at all. He looks at her with disdain. Like, if you don't get out of my face. That's how he kind of looks at Robin all the time. And she just looks at him like, one, one, one. And it's just like, oh my God. To me, they act more like brothers and sisters who are annoyed with each other, but have to love each other. You see what I'm saying? So I don't even think it's whether or not they're open or traditional. I don't think they are even in a romantic relationship like that. And then did you catch when Karen said, "Are you and Juan legally married?" Because I was gagging. I was like, Karen is asking all of the questions. Like at their so called intervention, how come none of the women, Ashley, dry Charisse, and boring Giselle, how come none of them asked her these questions? Well, do you have an open marriage? Is that why you're unbothered by the cheating allegations? Are you legally married since nobody was present for it and there's no marriage certificate that we can find? Is that why you're unbothered by everything that Juan is doing? You know what I'm saying? So I'm so happy that Karen asked the questions, you know? So shout out to Karen for that. And then also, the reason why I like Karen is yes, she brought up the whole Juan, cheating with the blonde girl from Georgetown, but she only did it because Robin really pushed her to do it. And you could tell she didn't want to, and you can still tell she felt bad. Because I don't think Karen likes tearing people down. Karen doesn't like exposing people. Karen likes having fun. She likes being the grande dame. She likes talking about, her perfumes and her businesses and the Black Bill Gates Ray. Where is Ray? We haven't seen Ray at all. Where is he too? I should have added him to the first slide. Where's Ray? You see what I'm saying? So that's why I like Karen. She's fun, she's shady, but there's no darkness to her. There's no evil to her. There's no her taking pleasure out of hurting other people or bringing other people down. You know? And that's why I like her, cuz that's what I think it makes a great housewife. Someone who has interesting things going on, always has a storyline, has great personality, brings the shade. She'll tell you about yourself in a heartbeat, but it's not dark. It's not evil. It's not taking pleasure in taking somebody down. And that's why I think she makes such a great housewife. Okay. Karen was right about Wendy when it came to Mia trying to throw Wendy under the bus for Wendy calling Mia slow. First of all, Mia told the story out of context. It wasn't like the girls were at the table and all of a sudden Wendy was like, "Oh, Mia, you're slow." They had been going back and forth, and Mia was the one, and I'll get more into this in Wendy and Mia's slides, but Mia was the one who said, "Well, why don't you uplift me? Why don't you uplift women?" And she was like, "Because you're too slow. You're down there. You're too far back for me to raise you up." When Wendy said that, I didn't think she was calling her slow as in she's mentally slow. I thought she was calling her slow as in you have such a negative energy, you can't keep up with what I'm saying in my politics so high level, not actually calling her like mentally slow. I didn't take what Wendy said that way. And Mia relayed the story out of context because she was replying directly to her question of why don't you uplift me? And Wendy said, "You're too slow, you're too far down there to bring you up." And that's why Karen was like, "Well, I've never known Wendy to talk like that. I've never known Wendy to do that. And also, Wendy didn't know about your child. We didn't know about Mia's child, at all." And again, I agree with what Ashley said. I don't think Mia actually cared what she said. She just wanted to have something to throw at Wendy. She just wanted something to like harp on. I think this season, as always, Karen's going to be the bone collector. She's going to be the pot stirrer, and she's going to be asking all of the shady questions. Now, we'll get into this when we get to Candace's slide, but Karen is also 100% correct in warning Candace. She was like, "Listen, the ladies didn't even mention your name. Now, this is icing somebody out 101." That's what she said. And what she means by that is don't forget that Andy said, if no one will film with you, you can't be a housewife. So what I think the ladies are doing, and by ladies, I mean the bitter Betty, dusty musties. That would be the Ashleys. That would be the Giselles, the Robins. That would be the Mias of the group, the Charices of the group. I think what they're doing by not mentioning Candace is they're not trying to give her airtime, storyline, conversation, relevancy. So by not mentioning her name at the housewarming, that is them strategically trying to get Candace kicked off the show. Because if she can't film with the group, if she can't film the majority of the times, if she doesn't have a true connection to all the ladies, it makes it harder for her to stay on as a full-time housewife. So right now, her lifelines literally are Karen and Wendy. We'll see as the season progresses if that changes. But that's kind of where it stands now. But shout out to Queen Karen, the Grande Dame. Okay. Now let's move on to messy Mia, okay? At this point, and maybe at every single point, Mia is just painful to watch. She's a miserable Mia should be her name. And I want to ask, do you think she's needed on the show? Like, I don't think Mia's needed on the show at this point. She needs to just go ahead, apologize to Wendy, and actually take accountability for being violent towards her. Stop lying and saying you're not drinking anymore and that's why you were violent. No, you were violent because you're violent and you're still drinking. Wine is alcohol, okay? And then she messes around and gets her little feelings hurt when Wendy gathers her because she's so intimidated by Wendy. And she can't, and Mia, this is another thing that's irritating with Mia. She goes all over the place in conversations. When Wendy was talking to her about, yeah, we made up at the reunion, but then you go on social media and you're dogging me out, and that's why I don't rock with you now. Mia goes, "Well, how come you don't uplift women? Every time you have a chance to uplift me, you don't." What? Apples to oranges. There's nothing to do with it. Mia just can't say, you know what, Wendy, I actually really do like you. But the problem is, I'm intimidated by you. You're beautiful, you're intelligent, you have a husband who loves you. Eddie has a little bit of coin, you have beautiful kids, you have your house, and that intimidates me. But instead of saying that, you go after her time and time and time and time and time and time again. You're miserable and you're painful to freaking watch. Okay? Again, I love Gordon. You guys know I have a soft spot for G. He's my homie. I love Gordon, okay? And I feel bad for him. She doesn't support him. She's constantly clowning him, putting him down, and no man, nobody wants to be micromanaged, particularly in front of company, particularly in front of cameras. Let the man do him. And again, I don't give people kudos for what they should do, but it was so endearing. Gordon's like I'm on the clock. I'm going to go, with the kids. I'm going to, basically do the schooling with the kids and take care of them and be, daddy daycare. Like it's really sweet and endearing. Like a lot of men, and I'm not men bashing by any means. I don't mean that. But there are men out there who even when they are laid off their job, because remember, Gordon got fired from the family company. So it's not like he doesn't want to work. He's now facing lawsuits trying to get the money from the company. So he has a lot going on. So a lot of men who are working or who are not even working still don't step up to take care of their kids the way they should. Still don't step up to daddy daycare duty, to looking after the kids, to spending time with them, to tutoring them, to being with them. They're out in the club. They're out playing golf. They're out at the bar. They're out with their mistress. They're out with the boys. So the fact that Gordon, even though he's going through his own depression, even though he's been fired from his own family business that he was the CEO of, even though he's facing lawsuits, having to sue his own family, he's still trying to step up and be very present for his kids, which he, of course, should do, of course. And then she's still being really nasty to him. I feel bad for Gordon. Shout out to Gordon, free Gordon, free Gordon. And again, like I said, many relayed the Wendy Slow comment out of context. She was responding to what Mia said to her, not just calling her slow. And I really don't think Wendy meant any derogatory thing, by calling her that. I think she was just like, you're too slow, you're behind, I can't bring you up to bring you up with me. It's just her trying to have something over Wendy, trying to get Wendy canceled. You know what I'm saying? And I agree, Amy. It's another example of someone who got married for the bag and to get the kids 100%. And when the bag is gone, when people don't marry you for love, when the bag is gone, usually they're gone. And as we know, Mia's divorcing Gordon. Word on the street, she already has a new boyfriend. So once the money left, she left. Shocker. All right. Now let's move on to Bore Schnorr Robin. So as we know, cracks in her friendship with Giselle is deepening. And that's going to be more on the next episode when we see Juan and Giselle kind of get into it and Robin not have Giselle's back, which, to be honest with you, I don't think she should have Giselle's back, because if you're going to double down on your fake marriage the way Robin is, you should back your partner in those situations like that, Yikes. But like I said before, I do think there'll be a falling out between Giselle and Robin. But I think as quickly as they fall out, they'll quickly get back together, because they do have their podcast, Reasonably Shady, and they ain't got nothing else going on. They don't have any other friends. They don't have any other businesses. What happened to her hat business? Bedazzled? What happened to Bedazzled? Embezzled? What happened to Embezzled? What happened to her hat business? Again, these one-hit wonder brands. One season wonders. What happened to her hat business? Where's Bedazzled? Anyway, it's very exhausting to watch Robin defend Juan and their fake relationship. And it's beyond delusion at this point. It's like you're playing in our faces to the level where I just need you to get off of my screen. And the reason why I feel that way is because we're not getting the quote answers for the Juan cheating allegations that we want. It's not satisfying to watch. It's been a flop. And I get that's why Bravo didn't fire her, right? They didn't fire her because they wanted the fallout from the Juan cheating allegations to play out on the show because they wanted ratings, they wanted clicks, they wanted views. That's why they had the whole intervention in the first episode. But it's not landing because Robin is still doubling down on her bullshit. So it's not fulfilling, it's not satisfying as an audience member to watch because she's still lying. It would be different if Robin broke down crying and was like, "This has been so hard for me. I love him and all of this stuff. I want to stand by him, but I'm so embarrassed and like I can't believe this and like yes, he did cheat." It would be different if she gave us something that was actually real and human and relatable and authentic and vulnerable. But the fact that she continues to double down on the lies makes it very painful and hard to watch. And I think she really needs to be fired after this season because what Bravo expected to get out of her, she's not giving. And she really needs to be fired. Like, it's beyond funny at this point. Like, it's beyond a kiki. Like, get off, girl. And no, Wendy's mom did not curse you, Robin. Your lies just caught up with you, and you still can't take accountability for it. It's exhausting at this point. You show no, because the problem is she shows no level of humanity. And when you don't have any level of humanity, I can't empathize with you. And if I can't empathize with you, I can't feel for you. And if I can't feel for you, I can't root for you. And if I can't root for you, get the hell off my screen. Bye-bye. Yeah. Bye. All right. Now let's move on to boring Giselle. Again, I think next season we need to have some recasting. Robin can go and so can Giselle. Her time's up. Ticky, ticky, boom, boom, her time's up. When Mia did her scripted comment, it's refreshing to see Giselle being real with her friends, referring to Robin. That to me was confirmation about our theory that production put Giselle on notice to go after Robin regarding the Juan situation. Because why else would Mia say that? It was so scripted. She was trying to memorize her lines to say it. And for them to say it's refreshing to see Giselle do that, that's clearly a producer planted line, a producer planted narrative, right? So pretty much confirms that. And I don't think we need Giselle on the show. What is Giselle giving? Her daughters are cute, but, and I'm not speaking against children, but also that's flat too. Like, okay, you have cute daughters, but, and I could go to Target and look at somebody with cute daughters in the, home decor line shopping for their, college trip. I don't know what Giselle brings to the show. I'm happy she's not being as evil as she used to be. But without that, what is she bringing to the show? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. She's boring to watch, doesn't have a storyline, a fake boyfriend with Jason. Thank goodness we didn't have to suffer that this episode. She's boring and she's flat. She doesn't bring anything to the show. And she's been put on notice with her messy ways. But I will say this. I am looking forward to seeing Juan versus Giselle next episode when Juan gets into Giselle talking about him. Because this is the thing. I don't know if it's hypocrisy. It's not necessarily hypocrisy, but I do think it's very difficult to take seriously feedback or criticism from someone who has done what you've done and you help them get away with what they're now trying to call you out for. What I mean by that is this. We all know Giselle has faked relationships on that show. Let's just talk about Pastor Jamal. That clearly was a fake reconciliation. I don't think anybody in this world believed that they were back together. That was nothing but a storyline. And Giselle has defended Jamal all day long. All of these women's coming out the woodworks and blah, 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 blah. So I think it's hard for Robin to take Giselle seriously when she's criticizing her for the Juan situation when she has covered for her in very similar situations. So I think Robin and Juan are like, hold up, Giselle. We know you've been on this show for 8 seasons, lying through your teeth, faking relationships, defending people who have done the indefensible. So who exactly are you to turn around and try to hold us accountable for the same exact shenanigans we held you down for? You see what I'm saying? So it's like they don't respect Giselle because she was running the same exact scheme that they're running. So they're like, "You're not gonna hold me accountable for crap, Giselle. You have a fake boyfriend on the show right now, Giselle. Are you exposing Jason for lying and saying he's your boyfriend? Are you gonna tell the truth that you did this whole thing for a storyline? Because I don't believe for 1 second Giselle and Jason are in any type of real relationship, situationship, anything. I think it's a paid for TV show, a paid for TV relationship. So I think until Giselle tells the truth about her life, Robin and Juan are like, get out of my face. See what I'm saying? Ugh. All right. Now let's move on to Miss Ashley. Okay, Ashley girl. Ashley definitely knows everything about the Michael and Candace lawsuit. And she's gonna say she doesn't for plausible deniability. She also doesn't want to jeopardize the case by saying anything publicly on the record, on tape. And this also plays into why she couldn't invite Candace to her housewarming because it's Michael's house. You know, it's not her house. Michael pays for it. She said her name was on the deed. I want to see the paperwork for that, but she already confirmed that Michael pays the mortgage and he bought it. So, how could she invite Candace, who he is currently suing for $2 million, to a housewarming party that Michael owns? See what I'm saying? So, there's that. Now, I think Miss Ashley, again, my theory, if you guys were with me last week, what did I say? I said that Ashley felt guilty as hell when she had the conversation with Wendy. And that's when she started this whole regurgitating the Nneka Osu conversation because she had already set up Nneka to go after Wendy and her family. But when Wendy came to her and was like, girl, like, I like you and I want us to be friends, but like, I'm worried you're going to stab me in the back. And, thank you for always being very fair. I think Ashley didn't realize that Wendy felt that way about her. I think Ashley thought that Wendy was clumping her in with Mia and Giselle and Robin. And so Ashley, being messy as hell, was on some get back and was going to stir the pot and plant Nneka to go after Wendy. And then she had a change of heart during that conversation. Isn't that exactly what we said last week? And isn't that exactly what was basically confirmed this episode, right? And Candace read her for filth and Ashley proved her right. Candace was just like, oh, this information is coming from Ashley? You better watch out because she has an ulterior motive. You know? And then Ashley admitted, oh, well, I insinuated that Nneka brought up the article, but it wasn't Nneka who brought up the article. It was Ashley. And Nneka never said that Wendy was Osu. She just said what Osu was and that she wasn't Osu. And she wasn't sure if Wendy was or not. She's like, well, I don't know, but like, I'm not. Right? And so the reason why Ashley embellished all of that was because she was trying to take the heat off of her for what she did and put it onto Nneka because she ended up having a change of heart and she felt bad for trying to set up Wendy. Now, this is the thing though. This will prove our conspiracy theory. If Nneka doesn't address Ashley for lying on her, then it's obvious that Ashley and Nneka have an alliance. That they've already had a behind the scenes alliance and that they are and that Nneka knows to be loyal to Ashley no matter what. And I don't want one of these fake conversations where they go and get their nails done or they go and get some matcha and it's like, oh my God, Ashley, I can't believe you said that. And Ashley's like, I'm so sorry. I take full accountability. And Nneka's like, it's okay, girl. Don't worry about it. And then they like kiss and make up and it's cool. Because those conversations are always scripted and so fake. And it's them trying to clean up the mess without actually having to address anything. But if I'm Nneka, and I don't have an alliance with Ashley, I'm pissed. Because now you've gone to this girl and you basically told her that I was snooping on her, getting articles and bringing it to the group, getting blog articles, bringing it to the group, and, talking about her family and putting her family in danger when I never said or did that. I'm going to feel some type of way about Ashley. Unless I've already made my alliance with her. Right? So we'll see. We'll see how that goes down. We'll see how that goes down. Okay. Now, let's move on to Candace, and then we'll get to Wendy and then Nneka. Okay. All right. One sec, guys. All right. Okay. So when it comes to Candace, sweetheart, I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing about Candace's singing career and being on tour. I'm over it. We get it, Candace. You pay to be on tour. No tea, no shade. A lot of artists pay. It's pay to play. A lot of artists do, but we get it. I'm exhausted, okay? I'm exhausted. Do you think we'll see Chris ever again this season, or is he just over it? Time will tell. We'll see if he goes to the pickleball event that Karen has next episode. Like I said before on the Ashley slide, she nailed it. Ashley did 1000% misrepresent the conversation she had with Nneka, okay? Ashley was the one who brought up the article and threw Nneka under the bus because her guilt got to her. Now, Miss Candace, I hope you are taking heed to Karen's warning. That's why we don't have a lot to talk about on your slide other than I'm tired of your singing career. Because that's really all you talk about. We need something else. We need a different beat. We need a different story. We need a different flavor. We need something different. We need anything else. But Karen was right when she warned you that the ladies are trying to ice you out of the group and get you off the show. That's why they didn't say your name at the housewarming. That's why they're not inviting you to things, because they want to get you off the show. So just be careful. Stay on the show. Karen has your back, and so does Wendy. It seems like there'll be more group events, when Karen has a pickleball event and she's inviting everyone. Candace and Ashley did have that moment at the very end of the episode where they were like, we can coexist in a room together. Basically, that was saying to production, we can film together now. As long as it's not at Michael Darby's house, obviously. So that's good. So we'll see. We'll see. But that's kind of all for Candace because, she's been iced out and I'm tired of talking about her singing career. Like, I'm over it. All right, now let's go to Wendy. All right. Now I have a disclaimer up there. For people who can't see it or read it, it says, I am not Catholic, I am not Oshu, and I'm not Oshun. This is my opinion based on research and the show, and I'm not making any judgment on anybody's religion or spiritual belief. That should go without saying, but we have some nuanced Nellies who don't understand that you're allowed to have conversation about religion and belief systems that you are not a part of. You're allowed to do that. That's how you learn and talk. And we talk about everything on these shows, so we're going to talk about this, okay? But just want to say that. I'm not judging anybody's religion or spiritual beliefs, okay? But I do have a conspiracy theory. Here goes. I think the original blogger, who shall not be named, got it wrong. I think she confused Osu with Oshun. And we talked about this the last episode because I was confused when they were talking about Oshu being the outcast. But then we saw the promos, which we're still seeing more promos of. I think we'll get the bigger story next episode about shrines and curses. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's Oshun, the goddess. This is what I think happened. I think the original blogger got it wrong. I think that Wendy's family was accused of worshiping Oshun, but the blogger, not being of that spiritual belief or culture, thought it was Osu. And so they said, oh, Wendy's family is Osu. They're the outcast. And that's why Eddie's family is shunning them. And that's where I think the confusion and disconnect is coming. And I'm going to tell you why. When Wendy said everybody had to wear yellow, I was like, hold up, hold up, hold up. What is the color of Oshun? Yellow. We talked about this. The color of Oshun is yellow. I'm not Catholic, but I have never heard of anybody in Catholicism for First Communion telling everybody to wear yellow. I looked it up, couldn't find it. But you know who wears yellow? People who worship Oshun. Okay. Oshun energy in Beyonce's Black is King. Yellow is the color of Oshun. That's why we've seen it all over her lemonade. That's why we've seen it in everything. Beyonce herself in her lyrics talks about channeling Oshun energy. And it is a spiritual belief in Nigeria and Benin. Oshun is the goddess or Orisha of love, sensuality, and femininity. We talked about that. It is a form of voodoo, witchcraft, whatever you want to call it. Again, I'm not making a judgment on it. I'm just telling you what it is. Okay? Yeah, that is their color is yellow. 100%. 100%. All you have to do is look it up. So when Wendy said everybody had to wear yellow at the first communion, I was like, what the hell is going on? Again, this is just my opinion. And I'm not making any judgment against any religion or spiritual belief. I think maybe Wendy's mother, family, maybe they do worship Oshun. And that's what the tea was. But like I said, the original blogger thought they said Osu. And that's where the confusion has now come in. Because everything that Nneka is claiming against Wendy all points to Oshun, not Osu. Yellow is the color of the goddess. That's what they wore at the first communion. I'm just saying, I don't think it's, I don't believe in coincidence. I believe in conspiracy. I don't think it's a coincidence that at these special spiritual occasions, everybody has to wear yellow. Okay? Nneka allegations against Wendy's mom claiming that she has made shrines. Like I said before, people make shrines when they worship Oshun. Summer Walker, I think she's some artist or something. She was posting her Oshun shrines on her Instagram. You make shrines to the deities. Nneka's allegations about Wendy's mom casting spells and curses against her. Again, that's curses, spells, witchcraft, voodoo. That would be worshiping of the deities, worshiping of Oshun. That has nothing to do with being an outcast. The color yellow, the shrines, the spells, and the curses has nothing to do with being an outcast and Osu. You see what I'm saying? And I think that the shunning comes from perhaps, again, this is just conjecture, Eddie's family shuns Wendy's family not because they're Osu, but because they think that they do witchcraft and voodoo. That could be a reason to say, I don't F with you. Particularly because there's a lot in cultures, whether it's like Haiti or Africa or wherever, right, who do have certain type of rituals and spiritual beliefs that might be seen as witchcraft or voodoo. Just because it's prevalent in a particular culture does not mean the entire culture believes in it and co-signs it. Do you see what I'm saying? So maybe his family is like, we don't rock with witchcraft and voodoo. And that could be a reason why they shun them. Do you see what I'm saying? And so I think that could be it. Also, I think it's very interesting that now all of a sudden Wendy is saying the reason why their parents got divorced was because her mother was Catholic. and her father was a Protestant, and he was so Protestant that her mother divorced him? What? Does that make sense to anybody? He was too Protestant, so she divorced him, but she's Catholic? I don't know. Maybe it's the witchcraft voodoo stuff. And the mother's comment about birthing her grandchildren to me was disgusting. It was gross. I birthed you. Like, I don't know. It's just really weird. And like, they were just, it was just over the top, and they were just doing a little bit too much with it. They were just doing it too much. Okay. And this is my theory as to why Wendy didn't go hard at Ashley. Because you would think that Wendy would go after Ashley pretty hard when Ashley admitted that, oh, by the by, Nneka wasn't the one who brought the article, it was me. Oh, by the by, Nneka didn't say you were Osu. I just said she insinuated it because I was drunk. She didn't actually say that. You would think Wendy would have a bigger reaction. The reason why Wendy didn't have a bigger reaction, in my opinion, is because Wendy was trying to do damage control in her mind because she knew she effed up. She knew that she went back and told her mom and her sister Ivy and her family that this new girl, Nneka, was speaking about her, calling her Osu or Oshun or whatever, wound up her mother, wound up her sister Ivy, and that Ivy was, because I do believe what Nneka said. I do believe that Wendy's sister went at her cousin crazy. I do believe Wendy's mom went at the cousin crazy. I do believe what Nneka said. I don't think Nika's lying. I do believe what she said. And I think if you look at Wendy's face, she looked kind of caught, like shit, like crap. Let me not demonetize myself. She was kind of like, I think her face was kind of like, oh, like I done started some stuff and it wasn't even her. And I think that's why she didn't go after Ashley so hard, because she knew she had to do damage control herself. She got her mom and her sister wound up over a lie that Ashley told. And I do believe Nneka. I don't think Nneka is making this up. I think her mom said that to her, and I think her sister said that to her. Her sister basically was just like, why do you have, Wendy's name in your mouth? You're trying to bring stuff to be relevant on the show. You're trying to bring things to the girls. Why do you have her name in her mouth? All of that stuff, because they thought that that's what she was doing, which is understandable. The way Ashley told Wendy it was like, oh, I was getting coffee with Nneka. She brought up this article that your family was Oshu, you know? And given their culture, that's a big deal. That's a big thing to say about someone. So I get why they're like, oh, why are you coming on the show trying to come after our family? Particularly if they're talking about Oshu as outcasts, that could have really negative impacts on their family in America and in Nigeria. So I understand that, but that wasn't true. That's not what Nneka actually said. And Nneka wasn't the one who brought it to the show. Ashley was, but Ashley lied. And that's why I think Wendy didn't go as hard, because Wendy went into damage control in her mind. Like, how am I going to wind this back now? But it was too late. It was already out. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's what I think is really going on here. I think the initial blogger got it wrong. I think they confused in their article Osu with Oshun, because everything that's come out since, like I've laid out, points to Wendy's family or her mother or whoever worshiping the deity Oshun, not so much that Wendy's family is Osu. Because it seems like Osu may still exist, but it's been abolished. It's not as prevalent. You know what I'm saying? But the whole yellow and the shrines and the curses and the witchcraft being shunned, this whole thing about Catholic versus Protestant, I don't know. It's giving that. Do you know what I mean? And again, with like the Beyonce stuff, the yellow and the worshiping and all of that. Again, all you guys have to do is a simple Google search, look it up on TikTok, all that stuff. She talks about in everything. It's the worshiping of that deity. And I think that is really what is going on. And I think that's why I think Eddie doesn't take it. This is what I really think. I think that Eddie doesn't take the worship of Oshun seriously. I think he's like, yeah, whatever. I think it's almost like if Eddie's family was, let me not go there with religion, but all I'm going to say is this. I don't think Eddie takes it that seriously. You know what I'm saying? And so to him, it wasn't a big deal. And he fell in love with Wendy and he wanted to be with her. But I think to his family, they were like, oh, hell no. You know what I'm saying? Because to them, they understand the spiritual ramifications of that stuff. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I think happened here. That's really what I think went down with this situation. Okay? Because that's why I was confused last episode. I was like, wait a minute. This isn't what I think it is. And that's what I think happened. Because bloggers and content creators, we're just humans. And if we're not a part of the culture and you hear a word that sounds so similar, Oshun, and you think it explains something and you just run with it, it happens. But that's what I really think is going on here, because even Wendy's face, if you go back and watch episode 2, when Ashley explains what Nneka said Osu was, Wendy kind of looked relieved because she was like, oh, it's like Outcast or something. And Wendy looked at her and she was like, oh no. She was like, we're not that. She was like, no. She's like, that was like, gods of the past and that's been abolished. She was like, no, we're not that, But I wonder if she was like, do you have shrines and worship gods? And I think that's what's going to come next episode, when all of that stuff starts to come out. And I do believe Nneka. I don't think she's lying. Okay. Speaking of Nneka, let's go to her. Okay. Is there anything else on Wendy? I think that was it. But I do enjoy her shade, and I think she has every right not to invite Mia and Robin to her child's first communion because they played her last season, so I wouldn't invite them either. And yeah, I think that's good. Okay. When it comes to Nneka, I feel like she doesn't look like this photo, but this is her official Bravo photo. But I feel like on camera she doesn't look like this, right? Anyway, like I said before, on Ashley's side, candy canes. We're gonna watch for this because we are gonna do our conspiracy theories and see if we're right. If Nneka doesn't come for Ashley for lying on her to Wendy and starting all of this mess, because all of this fallout stemmed from Ashley. Ashley is the one who brought the article to the show. Ashley is the one, and don't forget, Ashley, what is your problem with Wendy? Because isn't this what happened with the Eddie rumors from the same exact blogger? Bringing the same exact blogger's article to the show about Wendy. Didn't they do that 2 seasons ago? When they tried to say that Eddie was cheating on her with the woman at his law firm and had a side baby, and obviously that all turned out to be a lie. It was Ashley, Giselle, and Robin who brought it to the show. Same exact blogger, same exact article. Are people paying certain content creators to write smear campaigns against people? In the words of Nene, is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that it's the same exact blogger, same exact false information against the same exact housewife? Is it a coincidence? Anyway, let's keep going. Okay. So, dun, 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 dun. Where was I? Oh, yeah, that's right. So, if Nneka doesn't have authentic smoke, I'm not talking about this, hey, girl, I can't believe you said that. Oh, no, girl, it's cool. Kiss, kiss. I'm talking about an authentic, like, who gonna check me, boo conversation with Ashley. Then we know she's a production and Ashley plant and already has an alliance with her. Because there's no way you are going to be okay with what Ashley did and what Ashley started unless A, you were already in on it from the jump. So you're cool with everything. Everything is just cool because you were already in on it. You signed up for taking down Wendy. You signed up for it. Or you decided that you have an alliance with Ashley no matter what. Okay? Now, when it comes to Wendy's mom and sister Ivy coming after Nneka based on Ashley's lie, I do believe Nneka. I do. I do believe that what Wendy's mom said, and I do believe what Wendy's sister said. And I understand it. I'm not saying I understand the shrines and everything, and I'm going to curse you. I don't understand that part personally, but that's their spiritual stuff. I'm not judging it. People have the right to practice how they practice. What I mean by I understand it is if I'm Wendy's sister and I feel like someone's coming on the show and they're attacking by extension of Wendy, our family, because those accusations can be pretty big, not just for her family here, but her family in Nigeria, I would feel some type of way too. Like, well, why are you coming with fake blogger articles? Why are you feeding it to Ashley? Why are you saying our family is Oshu? Like, why are you trying to come after us? I get that. Now, am I saying I have shrines and I'm cursing people? No, but that's not my spiritual beliefs, you know? So I do think that they came after her. Do I think it was the right thing to do, calling her cousin and doing all of that? No. This is where I think Wendy did a big misstep. Wendy should have checked with the source before lighting the match. What I mean by that is Wendy should have checked Nneka first. I don't know why she took Ashley's word as if it was bond, when we know Ashley is a liar and we know Ashley is messy as hell. Candace called it right. She was like, this is coming from Ashley? Messy boots Ashley? Lying Ashley? Forehead Ashley? No way. You see what I'm saying? So I think that I think Wendy should have had a conversation directly with Nneka about what Ashley said before lighting the fire with her mother and her sister and her family. Because now it's this huge thing. People are upset. We're talking about religion. We're talking about spiritual beliefs. People are cursing people. People are going off the deep end off of Ashley's lie. You know what I'm saying? So it's just is what it is. Like I think that's where Ashley, I don't know why Ashley is trusting people who clearly are snakes. And this is the thing, Wendy, Ashley may feel guilty, but Ashley does not like you, boo-boo. If she liked you, she never would have done this to you in the first place. I think that Ashley, Giselle, Mia, and Robin, and Dry Charisse, I think they all are trying to get Wendy and Candace off of the show. And this is how they were going to do it. One, they were going to ice out Candace. Don't talk to her. Don't speak her name. Don't give her relevancy. Don't invite her to events. Don't film with her. And then with Wendy, they were going to keep attacking her and her family until she quit. That's what I think was really going on here. I think it's almost like a faux Fox 5 thing, right? Where they get together to go after people to get them off the show. So, Wendy, I don't know why you believed Ashley when Ashley was lying through her forehead. Lying through her forehead all day long. And I'm not body shaming. I have a big forehead too. So that's where I think Wendy really messed up. Because based on a lie, now the hornet's nest is being, out there. And I think that Wendy's mother, although I found her cringy, I think that she was, no weapon formed against us will prosper and all that. I think she was trying to, protect her family. She was being mama bear. She was being the lioness. You come for me. You come for my family. You come for my daughter. You come for my grandkids. I'm going to protect us. I'm going to come after you. She was in mama bear mode. Not in the way I would do it, but she doesn't have to do it the way I would do it. We're two different people, right? So I think that she was doing it in her way. That was her way of being like, don't come for my family. So Nneka, I want to see if you have your own brain, if you have your own mind, or are you just going to be a pick-me and a mouthpiece for the rest of the season? And that would be a shame because, to be honest with you, I actually like Nneka. I actually think I think she's beautiful. I think she has great style. I want to see her home decor. I love her husband. I think he's really cute and like fun. I love their relationship. And I think that she has a great personality underneath all of this BS. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I think Nneka herself, to me, seems like she would be a vibe, like a really cool girl. However, all of that is being distorted and painted in a bad way because of who she's chosen to get in bed with. Like, I think if she just would be her own person and have her own mind and not be up Ashley's and the Green Eyed Bandit's butts, I actually think she'd be really cool and a much more likable person. Because I actually like Nneka. I do. But I don't like her like this. You see what I'm saying? I don't like her like this. But I'm looking forward to seeing her lifestyle and her fashion and her house and her family and all of that. Also, Nneka, you're acting like a fangirl. Stop being so pressed to let us know and to act like you know Wendy. You don't know Wendy. I think you've seen her out at events? Yes. Do I think you guys are friends and you know each other? No. And you didn't act like you knew her that well either when you guys met at the housewarming party. Like, why are you so pressed for Wendy to acknowledge you like you guys are homegirls? That's weird to me. Like, I don't know. I would be like, I've seen her around, but like, it is what it is. I think that Nneka wanted to be on the show. And I think that if Wendy had embraced Nneka, it would be different. I think she would be Wendy's mouthpiece instead of Ashley. It's so very clear and so very obvious that Nneka moved to Potomac to be on the show. She can say she moved for her husband all she wants, but if you are literally moving in your house in episode 1, you moved for the show. Because how were you cast for the show? And they're allegedly looking for women who live in Potomac, but you didn't live in Potomac during casting. So clearly you moved to be on the show, literally. You know? So I think that Nneka is doing the most. She needs to calm down. You don't know Wendy. And it's okay that Wendy just said, "Hey girl, what's up?" And to be honest with you, Wendy didn't slight you. When she found out you guys were from the same tribe in Nigeria, I believe tribe. I hope that's right. She high-fived you. She said she liked your energy. Everything was cool. The only problem Wendy had with you was when Ashley lied on you. So there's that. Oof. We laid out a lot, guys. We laid out a lot, but I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below on all of the ladies. And what do you think about my conspiracy theory about Oshu versus Oshun and all of that stuff? What do you think about the ladies icing Candace out and Robin? Girl, just get off the show already. You are so corny and just nobody needs you anymore. So put it down below. Let me know what you guys think. But before you do that, be sure to like, subscribe, and of course, share. So with that, you guys, I am going to drop the link in case anybody wants to come up and chit chat with us. Dun, da, da, da. But first, I want to put up this slide. Click. All right. Dun, da, da. All right. So the link is dropped in case anybody wants to